love what I do. I think people know that. I think they can see it, feel it. I think that's most important if you really love what you do, and I do. And I think previous life experience have taught me a lot, more than I even really realized until I saw your questionnaire and started thinking about it a little bit.
This is the Stine Seedcast. I'm your host, David Thompson. Join me as we visit with growers, agronomists, seed experts, and other industry professionals about seed, agronomy, and the business of farming. Hello, and welcome to the Stine Seedcast. I'm David Thompson, National Marketing and Sales Director for Stine Seed Company. Today, my guest on the Seedcast is Kirk Kintz. Kirk is an independent sales representative for Stine Seed Company, working right here in the heart of central Iowa. Welcome to Seedcast, Kirk.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Kirk's been with Stine for more than a decade now. Is that right?
Correct.
And so we're going to talk about his path to Stine and talk about his time here and the work that he does in supporting our grower customers representing Stine. So let's get started. Well, so Kirk, again, first time here. Well, welcome to Seedcast. I guess for starters, I always like to get a little bit of a level set. So tell me a little bit about your background. I guess I don't even know. Did you grow up here in Iowa, or tell me about your background?
I did. So I grew up in Clive, just a western suburb of Des Moines.
Yeah.
My parents both grew up in a little town in Wisconsin called Richland Center, southwest corner.
Okay.
Mom grew up in town. Father grew up on a dairy farm. So he and his brother and my grandfather farmed, and his uncle. And he wanted to go to school, college. So he went to UW Platteville, got his engineering degree, got his first job, left the farm. I mean, it's always in your heart. But he moved here when I was about 3 years old.
Okay.
So I've been here ever since, born and raised.
Okay.
Well, pretty much. So,
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think you've been with Stine just a little over 10 years,
2013,
right?
so
11, 12 years.
12 years,
Okay.
yeah.
So one of the things I've always been fascinated with you is, like you said, you have farming in your background, but when you came to us, you weren't necessarily directly involved
Correct.
in agriculture. And I think that's kind of neat and kind of fascinating. In fact, over the years, you'd owned and operated several different businesses, right?
Correct.
So talk a little bit about your maybe business background before Stine.
Sure. So, like you said, I don't actually farm. Spent a good part of my summers as a child on the farm in Wisconsin. Loved it. Fell in love with ag. Farmers are great people overall. My background is probably best described as colorfully diverse. So I have a lot of interests. Briefly, I mean, I can expand a little bit on that if you want me to. Prior to coming to Stine, I sold real estate when I was 20, quit college for a while. That was tough. It was early 80s. Interest rates were 15, 16%. Oof. Farmers were going broke. People didn't want to buy a house from a snotty-nosed 20-year-old. But great experience with Iowa Realty. Eventually finished school. Sold corporate training programs and videos, CD-ROMs, which dates me, for a company in West Des Moines for about 10 years. Was in management for a while. And then was itchy to get out and do something on my own. So I did some research, eventually bought a Service Master Clean franchise, which is primarily fire, water, mold. We did carpet cleaning. We were on call 24/7. Trauma scenes, gory stuff. Whatever I could get, I would take for a job. And most of it was insurance work.
Okay.
That's where the profit was. So got certified in mold, certified in fire, water, everything. And we started out of my garage. It was myself, and then eventually hired my brother. Best employee I ever had. And we just built it from there, and then did that for about 14 years. And through that time, I ended up buying 2 other locations here locally. So it was 3 franchises wrapped into one. And it was Service Master by Kintz. great business, tough business, 3 a.m. flooded basement calls if you don't go do the job. The people we marketed to were primarily insurance adjusters and agents. And it was nice because my father co-signed on my first note. I'm early 30s, broke, 3 kids, wife's a hairstylist, and it was tough, but it was so worth it. And eventually bought 2 more locations, built it, and then sold that the last day of 2009.
Okay.
A business broker I knew was selling another business. He sold my father's storage business on Northeast 14th, where I worked out of, and rented space from him. And then he had an ice cream store that the numbers were pretty good at in Ames called Cold Stones, and another franchise.
Okay.
On Duff Avenue. So I bought that. After a couple of years, I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I going to expand this or what? To make a good living with one store is tough. It's kind of like a Subway. You need a handful.
Okay.
So after that, a gentleman that I think you know well, and I think everybody does in the industry, called me. His name's Chuck Hansen. We go back many years professionally and personally, and he said, hey, would you be interested in selling seed? Myron and I think Harry want to expand the brand on the retail side. And I said, sure. So here I am.
So you called yourself diverse. I think there's a certain thread. I guess to me, I hear it and I hear entrepreneurial. That seems like you're very driven to new endeavors, new ideas. Certainly, it would seem like the Stine path. You made it sound like you jumped at it, but that's got to be quite a left turn or right turn from where you've been.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that idea.
Sure. So the great thing about Stine's Seed Company, I started out as a DSM. Now we call ourselves ISRs, Independent Sales Representatives. You're basically running your own business. You have freedom, but it's not easy. You've got to get out and knock on doors. First 2 years, I don't know how many stops a day I made, 20 to 30 easily. But when the opportunity came, I jumped on it. I thought it was great. I mean, here you can run your own business. Now, granted, you do everything. You sell the seed, you deliver the seed, you collect your own receivables, you all of the above. You deal with all of the challenges. But if you don't want to hire employees, you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. For me, I thought it was a perfect fit. So I kept the store, and part of my original territory was Story County, so I would cold call all day and end up in Ames at night to make sure my crew showed up at the store. And then about a year and a half later, I sold it to a couple guys from Chicago that had 27 stores. So then it was just 100% Stine focus, go for it. And it just fit my style. I love it. I wish I would have started 30 years ago. I really do. But yeah, I am colorfully diverse. I did also invest in a 2-minute truck franchise for a short period of time. Okay. And that didn't last long. My partners, it's a long story. But no, it was scary, but I thought this is perfect. Absolutely. And now my concern was not having an ag background. I'm not an agronomist, fully admit that. I don't pretend to be one, but I felt like, I think I can build a relationship, a working relationship. I think with just about anyone. I like all kinds of people. I think I can do this. And Myron gave me a shot, introduced me to Dustin and Jeff, and the list goes on, and it's been great.
Well, so you just mentioned building relationships, and that's one of the things I think certainly you're the top of the heap when it comes to building and developing relationships with customers. And I guess I'm curious where that comes from in your heart and mind, as you think about going about working with your customers. Obviously, you take great lengths to build relationships and to engage those growers. And like I said, nobody beats you on number of stops and number of times contact points. So how do you approach that from the customer relations kind of side of the business?
So I like I said before, I have so many different interests, and virtually every grower out there, I think I can find something in common with. I mean, I like the growers they're extremely successful. I call it polished. Maybe they're row crop only. That's fine. I don't care. I can get along with them. To the grower that has livestock as well. The grower that gets down and dirty and sweaty every day. Love it. Love it. I love physical activity. So you kind of, it's almost kind of chameleon-like. I literally have 2 pairs of clothes in my truck every day. I may go from a farm where I'm going to help with the pigs that day to an office setting. So I may change on the fly. That's just me. It's I mean, not everyone's like that. That's just me. I feel my best when I am kind of matching that grower, and I really do care about every customer I work with. I truly care. I want to know their families. I want to know birthdays. I want to know everything I can about them. And you almost build some strong friendships there too. A lot of respect. I feel their pain. I know when times are tough. I've been through them. I like people, all kinds of people. And this is a perfect industry for that. I mean, and I'm running my own business. Yep. What could be better? I mean, for me, it's like a no-brainer. Just love it.
Well, like you said, and I think when you talk about some of your past experiences, I guess it would seem like the common thread that runs through that is your customer service goes a long way, whether it's service master, whether it's even selling ice cream.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. It's about this, make sure the customer is satisfied
Correct.
with their experience.
Correct.
And so in that sense, I think you're probably as accomplished as anybody.
I mean, I'm kind of an infant in this business still. I've got a long way to go, but I tell a lot of people, if I actually grew up on a farm, I would be dangerous in this business. I think there's plenty of opportunity out there to grow, but the customer service side of it is huge. It's a game of inches. I mean, somehow you've got to separate yourself from the competition, and if I'm not able to do that agronomically, for example, but I can be there. I don't care when it is, weekends, evenings, holidays. If I can help them increase their profits, I think they know I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yep. So that's kind of my philosophy, if that makes sense.
So in your comments a minute ago probably kind of led into this, and I sense that sometimes you probably meet yourself coming and going on the road.
I do. Yes.
I've seen you all over the place at various times, but maybe an unfair question. What's an average day look like for you as an ISR for Stine Seed? What is that? Walk me through what that would be like.
That's a great question. I should have prepared for this more before last minute, but so a typical day, it kind of depends on the time of the year.
Yeah.
It could be, I try to have, you try to have somewhat structure. Your set meetings, but every day is a puzzle. It won't be long, and I'll be trucking. I'll be delivering seed. I'll be meeting my semi at my shop in Perry and loading them up. And taking loads along with Cade, my counterpart, to customers with our flatbeds. That can eat up a chunk of your day. But I may do that. There are oftentimes I'll pull into a grower's farm and I've got somebody else's load on my flatbed, but I promised that grower I'd meet with them for an hour before I go deliver that load. It's not uncommon. I may be prospecting that day. I may set a goal to meet with 5 existing customers that day. It varies. Every day is different. I may be doing a seed cast. You just never know. Like we were talking, I'm going to head to Marshalltown after this. I meet with a couple growers. It's if there's daylight, day's not over. It's kind of how I look at it. So,
Kirk, it strikes me that we know that sometimes anything in sales is a challenging role.
Yes.
Because whether it's finding the time to meet with customers, finding the time to meet with prospective customers, peeling back the layers to figure out how you're going to help them solve their problems.
Right.
You manage to stay as optimistic as about anybody that I know in this business.
It's challenging. But try
I was going to say there has to be moments. I would assume.
Yeah, trust me. Ask my wife.
So how do you cope with that?
I would say faith. I'm a strong believer. Family, right up there. Anybody knows me, they know I love my grandbabies and my babies. 3 grown children nearby. We're very fortunate. See them every week. And just try to keep a positive attitude. It's tough some days, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. That's those things are probably how I do it.
So if you need a pep talk,
yeah.
Who you calling?
Yeah. Honestly, I surround myself with great people, and Stine has allowed me to do that. Dustin Ellis has been tremendous for me. I mean, I don't know. We just have had this great bond. Jeff Anderson's been wonderful too. You, Myron, everybody. I mean, from Clint on down, it's. I'm surrounded by good people. So if I'm down, they can tell, and I think my family knows, and they've been tremendous as well. And you surround yourself with good people. They're positive, and it makes it so much easier.
So during your time, again, you're great at bringing these options to growers and bring information to growers. Hopefully that'll help them kind of improve their operation or improve their chance of success.
Yep.
Have there been any kind of light bulb moments that you can think of where you're like, hey, that really worked out well. What I was able to do for them, help them in a way that was meaningful for their operation.
Yes. So, here's an example. So there's a grower that you know well that I've had the opportunity to work with for years. And he and his son are very active in the community with the pork industry. And he actually owns the local grocery store, and he donates a lot of time, smokes pork for the community fundraisers, things like that, all over. And he invited me years ago to be there on a Saturday and meet more community members that came to get their pork chop. That's an example of one of the many times I can think of where I thought, this is a blast. Here I am. They don't know me from Adam, but I'm giving them a free hat and a knife with my name on it, a pocket knife, and you never know where that's going to lead. And I'm actually helping the community, and that was neat. It was special. There are other times like that too, but that one kind of sticks out.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah.
So, I imagine in your daily life, there are times where you may run into situations where you say, my past, my background, my training, has prepared me for that moment. And I guess what kind of things you've run onto that you're like, I've seen this moment before.
Yeah.
I've seen this situation before. What I guess curious, are there things like that?
Yeah. So here's an example. It's funny you said that. So early on, first few years, I was pretty aggressive, and generally speaking, I think I read people fairly well, but not always. And a grower that I had called on and called on and called on, finally kind of got an inch. I mean, he was willing to at least talk to me. And I pushed a little too hard, and he got angry to the point of swearing. And I thought, I can handle this. I've been screamed at by people with flooded basements that think I should be able to replace their carpet for no charge and convince the insurance company. So I've been there. Been in court in my previous life trying to collect receivables. People would forge my name on their check, Service Master by Kintz, and the banks would cash it. And then you got to sue them to go get. I've been there. So this was nothing. And I just apologized, backed off. 2 years later, he bought seed. That happens. So I learned something from it. But I think just being a small business owner, you learn it's tough. I mean, it's tough to make a profit and survive. I look at a lot of my friends, retired, which I'm nowhere near that, but I admire them. And a lot of them followed the path of, company, grew with the company, great 401k. And then others of them have been tremendously successful in business on their own, started from scratch. I haven't been that successful, but love what I do. I think people know that. I think they can see it, feel it. I think that's most important if you really love what you do, and I do. And I think previous life experience have taught me a lot, more than I even really realized until I saw your questionnaire and started thinking about it a little bit. Bottom line, I like people, and I want to help them succeed. And if they succeed, I succeed.
Yep.
So
we talked at the top. You've been with Stine roughly a dozen years or so, and it seems like anymore the world moves at lightning pace.
Yes.
So yes. I guess I'm curious from your perspective, if you think about even going back to when you started with Stine to where it is today. What about the seed business or the business of working with farmers has changed significantly, even in your time, that you go, wow, I can't believe how much that's changed?
Sure. Definitely technology. If you look just at the drone business, back then drones were being talked about. And then I had a few growers I worked with that actually purchased some drones. They had their challenges. Now I've had the opportunity to work with a couple of young growers that started a drone business on the side. They bought three drones. They did, and they're killing it. They're doing phenomenal. It had challenges for them at first, but just the technology alone. I mean, we're going to have automated tractors, for crying out loud. I mean, it's amazing. There's a guy named Harry Stine that's probably been the most influential person in ag, in my opinion, in the world, especially on the soybean side, which I think he's going to do the same on the corn side. Land values, it's unbelievable, which is great. It's just, I guess my concern there is who's controlling the majority of the land and going to control it. Who's going to control our food supply? I get a little concerned about that, but the land values have skyrocketed since I started. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I had a bunch, but no, there's been a lot of changes. As the younger generation starts taking control of the family farm, they're sharp. I mean, these kids are smart and way smarter than me. But so far I've managed to get along great with them. I respect them. They know I respect them. If I don't have an answer, they know I can get it with a phone call. Um, their buying patterns are a little different than dad's or mom's, in a good way. Um, and the future is bright. I think the future for ag is very bright, especially as these young, smart kids take over.
Well, it's an interesting point you brought up is, sort of the generational aspect.
Yeah.
Because we know there's a lot of operations where you have layers of management, where you have this generation that's still very much involved in the operation day to day, and then you have a younger generation that maybe has taken on one or more aspects of the day-to-day operation of the business. So I imagine that's interesting for you to navigate.
It is.
A bit. Have you had to change your game plan at all with some of that transition that's happening?
A little bit. Again, the younger generation, I need to be careful and make sure that I understand where they're coming from. Fortunately, I have grown kids. A lot of the growers are about my kids' ages, and I think that helps tremendously. Just having kids that age and kind of understanding how they think. Maybe focusing more so on how can these traits better help you on your operation. Maybe nothing against mom and dad, but maybe dad leaves that to you. You deal with all the traits, not in every case.
Right.
But like I said, these kids are smart. They get it. When a new event comes out, I mean, I remember when Liberty was brand new, you have to understand what are we talking about here? What can I spray with? What can't I spray with? Certain corn hybrids. What can I spray and what can I not spray?
Yeah.
What do I need to be concerned about my neighbor? What they're spraying. These kids get it, and so I'm trying to sharpen my skills in that area too, and learn everything I can agronomically to help them as best I can. And again, if I don't have the answer, phone call. get Dustin or Tony or somebody on the phone. And so that's good. It's very good.
Well, yeah, because there's no shortage of information in the universe, right? And so, whether it's right or whether it's good information or not is a different story. But
right,
to your point, probably if they're asking a question, they maybe already have an idea what the answer is.
Yes.
They just want to see how it fits with the narrative they've already kind of come up with. So
exactly
different angle, but
yeah.
So like so outside of work, which you work really hard, so there's not a lot of time outside of work. But in those times outside of work, what's your passion? What drives you?
So, family guy. Number one goal is see those grandbabies. So we all.
And how many do you have?
So we have 8. 3 grown children, 8 grandchildren, all within the area. Spend a lot of time in the water. I personally, I love to fish. We all like athletics. And we have a great time. Now, to be fair, I do work a fair amount, and evenings and weekends are work time too, but I always carve out that time with the kids and grandkids. That's number one. We just thrive on it. Both Kim and I love it. So wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Don't really do a lot of actual vacations. Our vacation is at our place typically. We do go to Okoboji, try to go once a year for a long weekend and enjoy that, go boating and fishing and things like that. So, but that's primarily it. Family.
Good.
Yeah.
So, looking ahead over the next, I mean, I don't know, 5 years seems like forever. So let's talk
Yeah.
in terms of, the next few years.
Sure.
Are there things you see on the horizon that you're excited about, whether through Stine or just in the industry in general, things that you're looking forward to?
Sure. So, yes, I mean, personal level, as far as Stine, I always want to get better. So my goal would be to eventually break into the top 5% in terms of volume, in terms of sales. I think I can do it. I think the future of agriculture is huge, nationwide, worldwide. Sky's the limit. Never say die. Always keep fighting. And I see great things happening. Love what I do. Love this company. Looking forward to the next few years, 5 years, 10 years. That's basically it. Sky's the limit.
So if you're talking to someone and they want to know more about what you do, maybe they're interested in maybe what their next endeavor is going to be, what
Sure.
they're interested in from a career standpoint or a path standpoint. How do you, what do you tell them about being a sales representative for Seed?
So I guess first I ask a few questions to see what their passions are, see if I can figure out if they've got what it takes. It's to do what I do anyway. I mean, you've got to have a certain mindset, and not be afraid to be told no, like 100 times before you hear yes. It's just how it is.
Yep.
I think there was a grower by Nevada I called on 26 times before they bought seed. They never actually said no though. So if a person's interested in Stine, just saw parents of a gal at Iowa State before the game Saturday, and they were interested in Stine. I said, well, I gave them a name and a number. I said, they didn't want to do sales. So any way I can help lead good people to Stine, I'm going to do it. But being an ISR it's the best of both worlds. I mean, you're self-employed, which is not easy, but again, you're running your own business. You have some freedoms. You just got to perform. And if you have the right mindset, you've got the heart, you can do it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So
what do you wish you would have known 12 years ago when you got started in this business? What do you know now that you wish you knew then?
that's a great question. That was not on your sheet.
Sorry.
Maybe it was.
No, it wasn't.
I think if I would have known when I started that if I would have really studied more of the agronomy side and farm practices side of farming sooner than I did, it would have helped tremendously. And other than that, I mean, I knew it was going to be tough. But that, I think if I would have really, really dove in, really getting to know more about the mechanics of ag and farm operations, agronomy, things like that, it would have helped. But I say that, and I think another thing too is you want to be honest with a grower. They see right through it if you're not.
Yep.
So took me a little while to learn that, but I learned it. And you can't be fake. You can't pretend you know something you don't know. So I think ultimately honesty is probably the best thing you can do as an ISR. And it's been a great ride. I love it. Like I say, I can't really see myself doing anything different. So if there's prospective ISR out there that wants to know more, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
I'll tell them what they need to know, and I give them my honest opinion after talking to them.
So, Kirk, you're a very driven individual. You can tell that by the work that you do and the hours you put in. You mentioned wanting to get that upper echelon of volume.
Yes.
What other goals might you have for yourself?
So I would say one goal would be to. I bought a building in Perry a couple of years ago to warehouse my seed, and I want Kate and I to figure out how to maximize our use out of that building. It's a huge building for our size operation, and utilize the space as effectively as humanly possible for the seed industry. That's a personal goal, and we're constantly trying to figure out how to do that. There are office space, for example, that I don't really use very effectively. So that's a personal goal, and just overall be the best I can be at what I do, and enjoy it. I don't want to be doing something I don't enjoy, and I truly enjoy it. It's tough, but I wake up and I think, okay, how can I use my time today the best way to help the growers I work with be more profitable and me sell more seed, be more profitable myself. It's a constant challenge, but I love challenges. So the next number of years are going to be fun. A lot of fun. I see great things coming with Stine. A lot of great things.
Awesome. Well, Kirk, it's been great having you on to talk about your role and everything you do. Like I said, I know you work tirelessly on behalf of your grower customers, and I think it speaks volumes about the power of relationships that you have with your not just with your customers, but also with the team around you, and being able to bring those solutions to your growers. So
appreciate that.
Thanks to you for everything that you do, and much success in the future.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that.